Hello, Aries. If you're hearing these words right now, trust me, it's not by accident. There's a reason you stopped here in this very moment. The universe is calling your name, whispering that it's time to open a new door. A door where 6 numbers are not just lucky, but sacred codes of energy that can shift the way you see your entire life. So, let your heart open wide. Because right now, we're about to step into the very first chapter, the calling of the universe. If you're listening to these words right now, trust me, it's not by accident. In this very moment, as your heart slows for just one beat and your ears open to receive, the universe has whispered and brought you here. There is always a deeper reason for every meeting, and today, that reason comes in the form of 6 numbers. Not just numbers on a lottery ticket, but living codes of energy given to Aries alone to awaken the river of abundance that has been sleeping in your blood, in the beat of your heart, in the breath you're taking right now. I believe that when we truly pause and listen, the universe always delivers the right message at the right time. It never arrives too early. It never comes too late. It comes exactly when your heart is ready to open. Have you ever had a strange moment as if an invisible hand was guiding you? A sudden phone call, a stranger stepping into your life, or maybe just a dream that left you waking up with the feeling someone had whispered in your ear. Those moments are not accidents. They are the language of the universe. Aries, tonight I want you to sit down, take a deep breath, and let this light move through every vein. These 6 numbers are not here to simply change your luck. They are torches shining into the locked rooms of your soul, guiding you deeper into your own journey. I have walked through the fog myself, through nights when every door seemed closed. But in those moments, small signs appeared, a passing word, a symbol on the road, or a number repeating again and again. And those signs lifted me back up. They gave me faith that I was never truly alone. And I believe you are standing in such a moment right now. When we enter this space, it's never just about the numbers. Each one carries a lesson, a message your soul has been waiting to hear. 6 numbers, 6 melodies woven together like the music the universe is playing just for you. Each will open a new layer of meaning, from intuition to release to courage to wisdom to unexpected blessings, and finally to lasting foundations. So let these words sink deeper than your ears, let them reach your heart, because you were not born to stand on the sidelines watching life pass you by. You were born to step in, to leave your mark, to light a fire even in the dark. And tonight, that fire is being rekindled, starting with something small, something humble, something sacred. 6 numbers. This is not a game of chance. It is an invitation. A door has just opened before you. And as you reach out your hand, the very first torch is already there, glowing in your palm, carrying the form of the number 7, the number of quiet wisdom, the place where you will find yourself again. In the darkness of long days, when life pushes us through worries and endless noise, sometimes the only thing the soul truly needs is a pause. The number 7 appears like a clear mirror, inviting you to stop, to listen to the voice that has been echoing inside you for so long. It isn't the noise of the outside world, but a gentle whisper, like a stream flowing quietly through the rocks, steady, pure, never-ending. I still remember during a time when everything around me seemed to fall into chaos, I chose silence. No more arguing, no more running after things, no more forcing myself to fight against the storm. I just sat alone, listening to my own breath, and suddenly I realized a simple truth. Every answer I had been chasing outside had been sleeping within me all along. That was the moment the number 7 entered my life, like an old friend, like a wisdom that had been waiting patiently for my return. Silence, I discovered, is not empty. It is full of wisdom, full of light, that we can only see when we dare to be still. The world outside constantly demands action, competition, proof. But the number 7 reminds us that sometimes the greatest action is to pause. And in that pause, we see the cracks in the walls we've built, and through those cracks, light finally slips in. Aries, you are fire. You are power, passion, eruption. But even fire needs moments of stillness to be nourished, to burn steady and long. Think back to the times you ignored your intuition, that quick feeling in a glance, a meeting, a decision. How many times did you dismiss it, only to discover later it had been right all along? Intuition does not need logic, it does not need proof. It is the purest voice of the soul. If you have lived through this, I invite you to share your story. Write it down, because sometimes your story can become the lamp for someone else, someone who is just learning to trust themselves again. In this world, healing doesn't happen alone. We heal each other through words, through truth, through the courage to tell what we've lived. The number 7 arrives to invite you into the quiet room of your own soul, where you can sit down, close your eyes, and see your true face reflected in still waters. It reminds you that wealth never begins outside. It doesn't come from what you collect, but from the fullness inside, from a heart that dares to believe in itself. And then, when the light of the number 7 has risen in your chest, shining into every dark corner, the universe whispers again, because light alone is not enough. The soul must also learn to release, to let the dry leaves fall away, to make room for spring to return. And that is when the number 18 appears like a strong wind, carrying you deeper into the next chapter of your journey. There are winds that come without warning, sweeping away the dust that has settled inside us, leaving behind a space that feels empty at first. Yet in truth, it is opening the way for a new season to begin. The number 18 enters like that wind. Not gentle, not a soft breeze, but strong, decisive, reminding you that for a branch to bloom again, the gardener must first cut away what has already withered. I once believed that holding on was the safest choice. Holding onto an old habit, holding onto a relationship where love had faded, holding onto a belief that was already broken. I thought it would protect me from the fear of emptiness, but in truth, that clinging was the very prison that kept me suffocating in my own walls. Only when I learned to let go did I discover what freedom really means. Letting go is not weakness. It is an act of love for yourself and for the future that has not yet had the chance to bloom. Aries, you were born with a burning heart, always craving to hold, to conquer, to protect. But sometimes the bravest act is not in holding tighter, it is in opening your hand. Picture a garden in late autumn. The leaves have fallen, the branches stand bare, and the gardener knows, if the dead wood is not cut away, spring will never come. Letting go in that way becomes a sacred ritual of rebirth. Ask yourself, how many things in your life are you still holding onto, even though they no longer bring light? A habit that pulls you down, a fear that holds you back, a memory that brings tears every time it returns. If today you had to release just one thing, even something small, what would it be? Write it down as if it were a ritual of opening. Because the moment you write it, you are telling the universe, I am ready for a new chapter. The strange thing about release is that in the beginning it feels like loss, but in truth, you are creating space for the new to enter. Like breath itself, you can only inhale once you have exhaled. And only when you release can you truly know what fullness feels like. The number 18 does not come to take away. It comes to cleanse, to open the windows, to let the light flood in. It comes so that you may be lighter, freer, and have room to welcome the love, the abundance, the radiance that has been waiting for you all along. And when you have the courage to release, when you can stand before the emptiness without fear, you will notice something stirring within. As if inside your chest, a flame begins to rise. No longer hidden under old ashes, but burning clear, alive. That is the moment when change is no longer a distant promise, but a fire igniting within you. And that fire carries the name of the number 5. There is no awakening without a shaking. The number 5 arrives like a bell in the middle of the night, ringing loud, pulling you out of the safe sleep you've stayed in for far too long. It is a call in the darkness, urging you to step beyond the comfort zone that has held you still. I remember so clearly, the greatest turning points in my life never came from perfect plans. They often began in fragile moments when I had nothing certain except a trembling faith inside my chest, a decision to leave a job without knowing what tomorrow would bring, a love I dared to enter when everyone said I would fail, a journey without a map, only the hunger to search for something more. And it was those crazy choices that wove the most beautiful chapters of my life. Aries, you are fire. And fire is never meant to sit quietly in the ashes. It is born to dance, to rise, to illuminate the darkest corners. Life only truly begins when you dare to try. When your legs shake as they step into unknown ground. When your lips speak words you never thought you'd say. When your heart trusts a path no one else dares to walk beside you. That is when the number 5 leads you across the boundary of the old into the horizon of the new. Do you remember the last time you threw yourself into something that seemed reckless, and yet it changed you forever? Let that memory rise again, because it is proof that beneath fear, beneath uncertainty, there is always a hidden treasure waiting for the brave. The number 5 never promises that you will never fall. It only whispers, each fall will shape you stronger. Each mistake becomes a flame melting away doubt, forging you into a brighter form. Change is never easy, but it always brings life. Just like the seed must crack open to grow, you too must let your old shell break so the light can pour in. Picture yourself standing at a crossroads. One road is familiar, predictable, safe, but it has grown too small for you now. The other road leads into uncharted land, no map, no guarantees, but your heart trembles with life when you see it. That heartbeat, that is the number 5. It will not let you sleep in the comfort of safety. It pushes you toward where you truly belong. And then a pause, because I realize something. Fire without direction burns bright but dies quickly. The flame of change needs guiding hands so it doesn't destroy but becomes lasting light. And in that moment, another number appears, gentle and steady, placing a lantern into your hand. Its name is 12. In the moment when the fire rises wild and fierce, it's easy to believe its heat could light an entire lifetime. But without guiding hands, that fire can just as quickly turn to ashes. The number 12 arrives as those hands, gentle, yet steady, giving the flame shape, direction, and purpose, so it can illuminate rather than destroy. I've lived through seasons where passion alone carried me. I threw myself into dreams without a plan. At first, it felt like flying, but the further I went, the more I realized those wings lacked a map. And soon, the same passion that lifted me became the weight that pulled me down. Only when I learned to marry passion with direction did I begin to create something that would last. Aries, you are fire. You are eruption, initiation, new beginnings. But even fire needs a lantern, a frame to hold its light steady. The number 12 is that reminder. Passion is the fuel, but discipline and vision are the lamp. Without them, the flame burns bright for a moment, then vanishes. With them, it becomes a light that guides the entire journey. Success, in its truest sense, has never been born only from moments of inspiration. It comes from patience. From the days you stay disciplined with yourself. From the moments you step back to see the bigger picture. When passion meets discipline, that is when you stop being just a risk-taker and become a creator. Ask yourself, have you ever built a small plan, a simple habit, a promise to yourself that kept your flame from going out? Those little acts are seeds of stability. I invite you to share them, because your story could be the very breeze that helps someone else keep their fire alive. The number 12 also teaches us balance. Every leap forward must be matched by a step of reflection. Every heartbeat pushing you on must be joined by a deep breath pulling you back. It's that rhythm that creates harmony. And in that harmony, life becomes more than just calculation or blind courage. It becomes a dance, the two flowing together as one. And when your fire has been placed inside the lantern, when your passion has found a path to follow, the universe smiles. Because when you walk with clarity, unexpected gifts often fall when you least expect them. That is when the number 34 appears like a blessing dropped gently from the sky. In life, there are moments we never planned for, never expected, yet they arrive like a cool breeze on a heavy summer day. The number 34 appears just like that, an unexpected gift, a reminder that not everything in life must be controlled, calculated, or fought for. Sometimes, All we need to do is open our hearts and allow the universe to place something in our hands. I once believed that happiness, prosperity, and opportunity only came through relentless effort. I worked myself to exhaustion, planned every detail, tried to control even the smallest things. But it was in the moments when I finally let go, when I had no strength left to steer every outcome, that a new door opened. A chance encounter, an offer from a place I never imagined, a comfort given by a stranger. And I realized, sometimes the greatest blessings arrive only when we stop trying to control everything. Aries, the number 34 invites you into the space of surprise. It is the sudden knock of opportunity at your door, the unexpected hand that reaches for yours in the dark, the gift you never planned for, yet it arrives at the perfect moment. It teaches us that life is not always about striving. Some blessings bloom only when we loosen our grip and choose to trust. Look back on your own path. Do you remember a time when an unexpected moment changed everything? Maybe it was a chance on the street, a twist in your work, or even a hardship that turned out to lead you exactly where you needed to be. Stories like these become milestones, reminders that we have never truly been alone. And if you've lived through something like this, I invite you to share it, not just to remember it, but to inspire those who may be weary, those who have lost their faith. Because your story can be the living proof that miracles still exist all around us. The number 34 also carries the lesson of gratitude. Gratitude for the small things. Gratitude even for the unexpected. Because when you open your heart in gratitude, you open the door to receive even more. Like sunlight streaming through the branches of a tree, you cannot control where it will fall, but you can lift your face and feel its warmth. And yet, Aries, here is the truth. Luck, if it only stays as surprise, can pass through as quickly as the wind. You need a foundation to hold it, to turn a fleeting gift into lasting value. And when you are ready to receive that foundation, the number 41 will appear like an underground river that never stops flowing, bringing you the stability your heart has long been seeking. Some numbers arrive like a breeze, light, sudden, and then gone. But there are others that carry the weight of an underground river, flowing quietly, endlessly, nourishing life and turning the soil around it into blossoms and fruit. The number 41 is such a number. It doesn't promise dazzling light that fades away. It offers something far greater, a foundation strong enough to hold you for a lifetime. I once believed wealth was simply about having more than yesterday, more than the person standing next to me, so much that I would never lack again. But then came a moment when I saw an old friend holding his wife's hand, resting in peace together, not worrying about whether tomorrow would bring enough strength or not. And I understood. True wealth is not in the cold numbers on a bank screen. It is in the ability to live peacefully, to feel full, and to share. That is the kind of abundance the heart truly longs for. Aries, the number 41 arrives as a reminder. Prosperity is not a sudden downpour, rushing in only to disappear. It is a steady underground stream, patient, persistent, nourishing life in the most enduring way. It gives you the gift of sleeping without worry, the peace of knowing your family is cared for, the chance to leave behind not just possessions, but a spiritual legacy for those who will come after you. So imagine this. If tomorrow every need of yours was already taken care of, if money and survival no longer weighed on your shoulders, what would you do first to feed your soul? Would you write a book, learn to play an instrument, or simply hold your loved ones a little longer? That answer is the doorway to true wealth, the kind no storm can ever take away. The number 41 also reminds us that foundations are not only for ourselves. They exist to lift others too. When you are stable, you can share. When you build a house that stands strong, you can open its doors to the lost. When you create lasting prosperity, you do not live only for yourself. You leave shade and shelter for generations to come. I believe true stability is what allows us to live more freely. Because only when tomorrow no longer haunts us do we dare to fully live today. And when the number 41 has rooted itself in your heart, the 6 numbers no longer stand apart. They connect, like bricks forming a home, like steps building a path and creating a soul map that ties together the entire journey you've just walked, from intuition, to release, to change, to direction, to unexpected blessings, and finally, to enduring prosperity. Looking back at the path we've just walked, we begin to see that these 6 numbers were never standing alone. They connect like pieces of a map, guiding you from the dark corners within yourself out into a greater field of light. The number 7 whispers, calling you back to your intuition. 18 teaches you the courage of release. 5 ignites the fire of change. 12 places guiding hands around that fire so it will not fade. 34 opens the door to unexpected blessings. And finally, 41 lays down the steady foundation that allows you to walk with peace. 6 steps, 6 torches. Together they create a complete journey, the journey of Aries. I have always believed lasting wealth has never been about numbers on a bank screen. It lives in the growth of the soul. It shows itself when you can look back at your losses and still smile, when you can rise after failure without bitterness, when you dare to love again even after pain. That is the kind of wealth no one can ever take away from you. So think about this. When these 6 torches burn together, what will they illuminate in your heart? They don't only point toward financial prosperity. They give you something greater, a spiritual inheritance, a flame passed from one generation to the next, a reminder that Aries was not born only to conquer, but to carry light forward, to be an inspiration for humanity. And if you truly listen, you will notice that one number among the 6 calls to you more strongly than the rest. It may show up in a dream, on a license plate, on the face of a clock, or in the small coincidences of daily life. That is the sign the universe is sending just for you. So I invite you, write it down in the comments. Don't hold back, because when you share it, you're not only listening to yourself, you're helping someone else hear their own echo too. Aries, when these 6 numbers come together, a soul map is revealed. It is the map of return, of release, of courage and vision, of surprise and of stability. And within that map, you will realize the abundance you have been seeking has never been far. It has always lived inside your heart, in the light you give to the world. And now, as this journey gently comes to a close, I want to pause for a moment to send you my deepest gratitude and a blessing from my heart to yours. Thank you, Aries, for walking with me through this entire journey. Every moment you've listened has been more than just a conversation. It has been the meeting of 2 souls traveling together toward the light. I believe your presence here is no accident. It's a sign that you are ready, that your heart has opened to receive the messages the universe has been sending to you. May you receive not only abundance, but also the peace that lets your heart rest, the freedom that lets your spirit rise, and the light that keeps the road ahead clear and warm. May your flame never fade, but burn bright enough to warm yourself and to radiate out to everyone around you.